Yeah, time to look over at Division B, though. You saw Fino sitting at the bottom with 3 and 9, and Casie in a spot where he's still fighting over on that other side, and that's the matchup we're rolling into. Casie taking on Fino in this one. Down below, you can see the pick and protect phase. That Divine Shield around a class means it was protected and ineligible for ban. So very much in Fino vein, protects the Priest in Casie. No more fooling around this week. Protect the Priest. Warrior banned away from Casie in that regard, and Shaman banned away from Fino. And so now, looking at these lists face up, I'm seeing the Holy Wrath Paladin on the side for Fino, and just Druid Shaman on the other side for Casie. So I feel like Casie in this particular matchup may have found the edge due to how the Druid deck can line up into Holy Wrath Paladin. So to me, it spells some potential for Q order shenanigans, but I mean, let's be honest, both of these feel like queue up Priest gamers.
Yeah, and particularly, like you're talking about the lineup advantage as a whole, particularly because Casey's practice group kind of innovated this build of Druid. It's a little bit different in that it's down to 1 Power of the Wild. For a while, they were playing double Ferocious Howl, double Power of the Wild, 1 Innovate, and they were saying that was the list that gave you the highest possible win rate against Paladin in that position. Sorry, the reason I got distracted is that I looked over at game number 1 and there's just not a Priest mirror on my screen.
So this is something that's been happening with the lineup as well. I'm going to get into the stakes of this match right after this because this, it's a Priest game. They're likely to be quick. But for the Casie side of the matchup, it's just about making sure that Druid lines up against something on the other side. That's like literally how the deck is built. They believe that their edge is found in that the Druid finds a strong matchup across the board, and that Priest is Priest. It will find a strong matchup across the board. And I don't disagree with that.
I'm still a Q Priest gamer. I just don't think you get punished for it. The bad matchups don't exist unless they brought something spicy to the table in their lineup, and then you still have the opportunity to ban that out and Q Priest. But I'll do the stakes for you. They are very, very simple in this one. You do not need any subtle, beautiful mind tiebreaker maths to solve this one. Fino must win, or we say goodbye to Fino, the player who won Season 1 throughout the whole of the league and the playoffs, is going to be relegated in Season 2 if he does not win. On the opposite side, if Casie does win, he is guaranteed for playoffs. Very simple, black and white scenario in this matchup.
Crystal clear. You stole fizzy lifting drinks.
What?
Willy Wonka, you said black and white. And in that scene at the end where he's getting mad and he's like, it's black and white, crystal clear.
Okay.
He's reading the rules with his half glasses.
I think we've had this conversation before. I think I either haven't seen the movie or I've seen it once, like a million years ago, and I just don't remember.
Oh, no, I don't remember this conversation.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation.
This must have been a TJ1.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I've read the book, though.
Pretty solid turn 3 here.
It's looking pretty spicy. Casie just vibing right now.
Well, I'm telling you, this is part of the plan that they've continuously gone for. It's that Druid will find a matchup. They are very confident in their play. Priest is Priest. It'll find a good matchup. The goal for them is don't get one of their classes through.
The plan is concede game 1 to Priest. I'm very confused.
The plan is to avoid Paladin lining up against your Priest and the Paladin picking up a win, because then that's disaster.
But Priest is favored against Paladin, Admirable.
The point I'm getting at is the Druid is not favored versus Priest.
Okay.
So on the other side, you now have Druid that needs to get through a win versus Priest, or Shaman that needs to get through a win versus Priest. That's a disaster scenario. That's what they're trying to avoid.
It's a bigger disaster scenario than starting the series 1-0 down.
Well, you don't start 1-0 down. There's still percentage involved with it.
Sure.
I'm just telling you line of thinking.
Okay. I'm just telling you I disagree with it.
That means you disagree with Casie then.
Yeah. I don't like disagreeing with Casie.
Especially because you're definitely wrong in this one.
Quickly.
Got you, friend.
The Wild Pyromancer on board makes things a bit more awkward for Fino, as well as the all-in not being ultra effective on a turn where Casie does not have an adequate check to the Northshire Cleric. And that spells more minions in play and set up for next turn.
They do make things a bit more pleasant for Fino in that Pyro hits your opponent in the face for 3, and that is a very pleasing prospect. This is about the best Casie can do, and having this Pyro in play also make things a lot better for Fino in this position.
3 to face. 1 to face. Cast some spells. Second Divine Spirit.
Beautiful. That was
Game 2
easy.
it is.
Yep, Casie gives the thumbs up.
That's the Fino form that I have wanted for a long time. Quick play, quick lethals, quick decks, powerful plays.
Oh yeah, he played the heck out of that game. Perfectly navigated.
That is reminiscent of last season, where it was just every single Cyclone Mage game, he played all of his stuff and the opponent exploded.
Oh, you're saying Fino high-rolled season 1?
No, I'm saying he played all of his stuff and the opponent exploded. I think that's part of his struggles in this expansion is a lot of the decks do not just get like recklessly aggressive. And reckless aggression is, it looks like reckless, but there is a fine calculation to it where every single turn you're looking at the razor-thin margins and whether or not you have the gas to push through those.
Yeah.
And I think in that Cyclone Mage era that Fino identified almost every single one of those scenarios properly. With Priest, it's very reminiscent of that. You pretty much have the gas to push through stuff.
Yeah.
But there's no other deck like that in this expansion, and I think that like that is his absolute strength is towing that line.
Because I do want to make that point, and I'm glad that you hit it, that I think painting Fino's Season 1 Cyclone Mage play as like, you know, he played all his cards, his opponents exploded. Like, there were turns where he was perfectly navigating. Week after week, you saw this come up, where he would play his cards in such a way that his opponent's, like, Sea Giant Frost Nova turn was just one too expensive to be able to be relevant, while still perfectly representing lethal damage himself on the following turn. Like, all these kind of navigations. Like, he understands matchups at a very high level when he's on form. It's just, I don't really think that game had a lot to say about it. Like, he played against Druid and he blew him up because he's Priest. It's basically how it works.
I'm trying to get back to the story of things, which is Fino's very good at aggression.
Yes.
And that Sea Giant Frost Nova thing that you talk about, it wasn't just like he would set it up for one turn. It was the first turn.
It was turn after
and
turn.
the second
week
turn.
After week.
And the third turn. Yeah. Every single time.
Yep.
So the fact that there's a lack of aggressive decks, like, it took me 7 weeks to kind of realize this. That's his weakness. He needs aggressive decks. They're just frankly not super strong right now.
They're not. I think even though Highlander Warrior, Highlander Paladin, Zoo might be performing decently on ladder right now, I think when you actually try and put them in place in a lineup in the Grandmasters format, it does start to give you a little bit of a weakness. And there's this weird factor where, like, even having a weak deck like Control Warrior in your lineup, which is weak, like you can sometimes just have Control Warrior in your lineup and just never intend to play it, but the threat of it being there means so much for the series and the way that it plays out. So it's a weird format that we play out, and it's definitely a format that I still think has a lot of time to be explored. But we're getting very off topic here, and we have a lot of things still to cover throughout the day, Admirable.
Indeed, which one of those things we got to cover right now is a break. So when we come back, we're jumping into game number 2 of Fino versus Casie. It was awfully quick, so we rambled a bit. But when we come back, we're going to be jumping into that one. Fino has to win. End of story. Hello and welcome to Around the Fern. I'm Nathan Zamora. That's Admirable, you can call me, and I'm joined today by a very special player. Please state your name.
Christos Tsakopoulos.
I thought it was Fino. Like, I've always called you Fino at tournaments.
Well, yeah, people call me Fino, Fenomeno, whatever you want to go with.
Okay, well, I think you need to pick one of them, though. It's not just Fenomeno
Let's
or Fino.
let's go with Feno. Let's go with Feno.
Fino.
Yeah,
okay. You're happy with that?
Mm-hmm. I think it will be easier for you.
So where are you living right now, and what's that like? What's that like for you in Hearthstone?
Yeah, now I'm just living in Greece with my parents. We have a really big apartment, and on the first floor, there's like a movie theater that my dad operates.
Like you guys make movies there?
No, there's no movie making in the movie theaters. You just show the movie.
So like you just show them other people?
Yes, people come and they can watch the movie in the movie theater.
But you don't make them?
No, we don't make them. We get the movie and we show the movie in the theater.
I thought the whole point of the movie...
Just sell tickets, we don't make movies, and people come and watch the movie.
Okay, well, I get, let's just agree to disagree on that. Fenomeno, Fino, Feno, whatever you want to call it.
I'm done.
But we're in an interview.
My name is Kevin Casie Eberlein. A Grandmaster means to me that the last year of 2018 was a success. After having so much tournament success and getting to Grandmasters, by most of the time just gaining points, gathering points, and just performing well in tournaments means that I did something right. My goal was to get to the highest level of competition, and Grandmaster is the highest level of competition, and I achieved it, so I'm super happy. What I'm really good is at playing of muscle memory. So at the start of any meta game, the first week, I figure out the best decks, but I play them pretty poorly. So I just keep playing them till I actually know everything. And this is just, preparation is key. I don't only like Hearthstone, I love it, it's my passion. My life, like, it changed a lot since I started playing Hearthstone. I used to be really, really shy.
Really?
Yes. And then, like, after Thais, Crane talked to me, I just got a confidence boost. And from there, I changed quite a lot. Try to be the best what I can get out of myself, and then I'm gonna be happy.
Welcome back to Hearthstone Grandmasters for Europe, the penultimate day of the regular season. I'm Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora, joined by Simon Soto-Welch, and right now Fino holds a 1-0 lead over Casie in our penultimate match of the day.
Yeah, it's a huge one for both sides. It's a must-win for Fino if he's going to even have a hope of sending his relegation chances through to tiebreakers. And for Casie, it's a very simple equation as well. If he wins, he locks himself up a playoff position in Division B.
Game 2 is going to be a Druid mirror match, and hopefully this will begin to explain to Sottle, who has such a small brain that he can't understand the genius that is Casey's deck building and lineup building here, where it's a Druid mirror match for Game 2, and that's why there's a Chef Nomi in Casey's deck.
Be preserved.
Absolutely genius.
Fine.
I lost Game 1 to Priest. Duh. Of course that's going to happen.
Exactly. That's my point.
Well, now you have Druid versus Druid. You have a Nomi, they don't.
Yep. How much percentage do you think that gives you in the matchup?
That's not my call to make. That's Casey's.
How much percentage do you think you lose by playing Druid against Priest in the first matchup?
But then Casey's final game is Priest versus Druid or Paladin. So you just gain back that percentage, right?
Sure. That's why I think those two questions are crucial, right? Like, how much percentage do you gain from the Nomi advantage in the mirror versus how much do you lose from potentially queuing the Priest early on? And I don't think it's, like, cut and dry. I don't think because obviously sometimes they don't queue Priest. I think Fino's made it very clear that he is a queue Priest gamer. But that doesn't always happen, so that percentage gets modified. But I think that is the crucial kicker in terms of where you come down.
Okay. Bigger brain than I thought. At least in this one particular instance, anyway. I'm not questioning you in general, just in this one particular match. Brilliant to me.
What to do?
Wow, kind of a tough spot. I mean, I don't think I've ever not taken a Nourish from this card early on, at least in this kind of scenario. I'd say with the Nomi in your deck that Nourish is looking okay, but one of the problems I found with multiple Nourishes in Nomi lists is that your hand just gets bogged down quick.
It does, yeah. Especially if you do draw that Nomi early on and then that's just like sat in your hand taking up a spot, it can start to get very ugly in terms of hand size.
Oh my gosh, the hands. Fino opening with the Innervate to offset the coin. Just when I talk about hands getting bogged down. King Feoris, my eyes were open to this card recently in the matchup. It is a bridge to the Chef Nomi.
That is a long, long way away, and we have seen on both occasions where these two variations of the Druid have clashed with each other, where this Casie build has gone up against this Fino build, basically the T1 build up against Casie's practice group. It's happened on multiple occasions, and on both occasions we've seen the player playing the more aggressive list, the no-Nomi list, get further and further ahead. In Ball Control's case, he didn't quite get over the line because Psycho just had this incredible low T plus removal hand. He just had all the removals. But in the version that we saw today, the aggressive version did get over the line.
Oh. These hands are insane.
Fino lands pressure here, and that is going to be crucial for his game plan.
Yep. Want to note that Casey's turn 4, I think, is also crucial to this game. Having the Ferocious Howl to pad the damage you're going to take here means that you have a bit more time to handle threats as they come along.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And kind of looking at the Power of the Wild here, admittedly, I did kind of study this particular matchup because I was so interested in it. Like, Casie gave me some vague ideas of what was going on, but the Nourish into Oasis Surger Power of the Wild is how you're offsetting that initial Oasis Surger that comes down. It's like a very distinct setup that is like super well thought through. You look at it, you're like, oh, it's Power of the Wild unless they wanted to Power of the Wild. It is a very specific purpose, and I love that.
I have been team play your Nourish on 6 in basically every Druid mirror we've cast up to this point, but because I can't resist playing Devil's Advocate, Nourish versus Hidden Oasis, your guy that turn, Admirable?
You know my thoughts on it. Turn 7 Nourish, turn 6 Nourish, they look about the same.
So you want a Hidden Oasis? Or you wanted to Hidden Oasis?
I kind of like extra stuff in play, but I see the idea at least. Like, you know, Fino's probably also accounting for Oasis Surger and Power of the Wild. I mean, your opponent just cast a Nourish. So I think that's an active thought in his mind.
It's not a pretty turn from Casey's side.
Now that draw interests me. Wow, how aggressive can you get? I'm curious. Oh boy. Crystal Merchant, I believe, is what activates Zephyrus now.
Is that it? Really? In 14 cards?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, okay.
He's got 1 Howl, 1 Mind Control tech, 1 Power of the Wild.
Time waits for no one.
You had to innervate on turn 1. Use the second innervate this turn. Yeah, it's just Crystal Merchant.
You see here, Fino, very liberal use of resources, swiping just to kill a 6-2 functionally to push through this extra 5. I think this is good recognition of the spot he's in.
Who dares defy this ancient land?
And then how do you capitalize on this? Probably something to do with Floop. But how aggressive can you... Again, my question is, how aggressive can you get in this spot?
Right.
Like, Lodi, I think, would have been the... wouldn't have been ideal either.
It's not that perfect, right?
No, it's not.
I wonder.
Yeah, this is tough. I imagine Fino's thinking about Oasis Surger for about the same reason that he took the turn previously that he did. Thing lives, kill stuff, go face. And to me, that, again, it really shows where Fino's mind is at. It's about aggression. And sometimes this matchup is about a balance of that aggression, not
Yes.
full front.
And Fino in the matchup, the way it is built, has to have that aggression tilted slightly more towards being aggressive because he is going to lose the hyper late game if it comes down to it.
Yep, don't attack that Cenarius. Tough turn for Casie.
There's that Nomi draw we were talking about. Going to be dead for a very, very long time. About as big a brick as you get, up until it isn't.
Yeah, I'm thinking second Cenarius here looks pretty darn good.
Yep. Still leaves 10 in play that Fino can try and connect with on the following turn.
Yeah, I mean, you're worried about removal.
This ancient land.
Crystal Merchant drawn, Zephyrus live. That makes me want to push this 10 so badly.
Can you do better?
I wonder.
I don't see it. Power of the Wild first, then Zephyrus for X, but I don't know what X is in this equation. Don't think it exists.
I'm wondering if, like, can you preserve Starfalls? Does that matter? It
Yeah,
doesn't
so
feel
like
it matters.
my default base one borderline play this turn, where I'm trying to find something better, is just double Starfall, push the 10, put your opponent on having to heal, or else you have Zephyrus lethal on the following turn.
Yeah,
I spent the rest of that turn trying to find something better than that, and I could not see it.
yeah, I'm in the same boat.
And I think Fino is in exactly the same boat as well.
It's just three players laser locked into, like, there's got to be something here with Zephyrus that makes sense.
Yep. Now, Casie does have the heal, but you are making him have to heal. And if he has to heal, that's less mana that he can spend on clearing out your 5/5s.
Huge draw as well.
Yes, it is. So now the aggression is just starting to wane for Fino.
Much more interested in Hidden Oasis, my own minion now.
To do.
Forced a pair of AoEs from Casey's side. Hidden Oasis thing, Power of the Wild, lets you keep around a fairly substantial Oasis Surger, and it puts a 7/7 versus a 6/6.
Sure. I was also looking at Elise turns this turn,
Oh.
which I actually thought were slightly ugly. But Fino seems to disagree. I was considering Crystal Merchant, Elise, and Power of the Wild in whatever combination.
This gives you double Power of the Wild.
I
That's,
didn't.
like,
Yeah.
sick.
Okay. I didn't think about double Power of the Wild.
That is
okay,
sick.
Yeah. Okay. I was in Crystal Merchant, Power of the Wild world, which did not look good to me.
Oh,
This looks significantly
my.
better. Yes, I like this. Fino has found the line. Casey, Zephyrus, and Elise now active as well, and he gets to clap back with the Oasis Surge of Power of the Wild. Three things dying this turn. Huge turn for
Yeah,
Casie.
this is just trade off as much as you can territory, I think. VTs are looking good after you saw the Starfall on Fino's side as well.
Yep.
Bit rough around the edges, but you'll take it. Well, I can tell you I have no idea what this first Zephyrus will offer. Probably Flame Strike.
I wonder.
Does it offer Wind Fury on a 7/1 just because it's a 7/1?
You know, that's an excellent question.
It's usually very uninterested in just dealing face damage that isn't lethal, so my suspicion would be no.
I'd say probably at the loud crashing noise mark, he's interested.
Sure.
Oh, that's a big draw.
But it was exciting.
That's a huge draw for Casie.
Elise in play, full clear.
Need a hand, Explorer?
Oh my gosh. This game is insane. The turnabout's not even over. Like, there's still more stuff Fino can do.
There is, and it is bizarre to say about a hand that has 2 Zephyrus in it, but he is just starting to run out of gas a little bit.
Man, I don't know. Tyrion's looking real good.
Yeah, he is going to have to rely on this Tyrion for sure, but the problem is that he knows that his opponent just played Elise, so he knows Zephyrus is active. So his Tyrion does net 0 damage a lot of the time because Casie can manipulate ways to silence it, he can manipulate ways to ooze it.
Your wish is my suggestion.
I didn't think about kings.
Oh, Fino didn't get the Gore Howl.
We saw this yesterday with 5-5 on board versus opponent. It says, don't take damage.
I was just thinking maybe the Gore Howl was kind of exciting because you can 7 your opponent, guaranteed, right, before it can get oozed or whatever, and then set up the Pyroblast, but then they just use their Zephyrus to heal instead of Zephyrus to ooze your weapon. Like, it's the same thing.
Your wish is my suggestion.
And there you go. You just don't get to Tyrion. If you try it again, he's just going to do that again. This is what I mean when I say he's starting to run out of steam.
Behold, jewels of the sands. Ooh.
Hard to find a win condition for Fino from this point.
Well, I think the win condition is keep board and find scenarios.
That sounds difficult.
7 cards left.
It's the keeping board part that I'm worried about.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think the test on Zephyrus for Tyrion is fine in Fino's last spot.
Behold,
Because if it
jewels of the
succeeds,
sands.
it succeeds because the Zephyrus is
Jewels of
buried
the
in Casey's deck.
sands.
Yep.
And that will lead, I think, to a win for
Yeah,
Fino if that's the case.
I mean, yeah, no criticism of the line whatsoever. Like, Fino absolutely did not have a better plan with the hand that he had.
Oh, I forgot about the mind control tech on Fino's side, too. Casie has to think about that. Like, he is in a pure defense mode right now.
Ooh, Casie for a moment hovered the Zephyrus over the board.
What does it offer here?
If that comes down, that means that Fino's second Zephyrus can get that Tyrion damage to connect through. Right now, that Tyrion damage does represent lethal. And all of Casey's Howls and Hidden Oasis are gone? Is that correct?
Shadow Flame.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Time waits for no one.
Plays around the MCT, blows at the opposing board, connects space, starts the aggression. I believe he maximized that turn, but I do believe his hand is quite ugly.
Now Tyrion number 2 is a live possibility for Fino.
And so what's the sequencing on that? Just jam it now?
You play a Tyrion, yeah. I don't think this board's going to get any better for you if you take turns off.
Floop. Casey's used it. Ooh, I'm not seeing a better card. This tells me he's quite interested in getting hefty board development and finding lethal with Zephyrus, a la a buff.
You can play an end of turn here still for next turn. If that's not the plan. Nope.
Going for
Like
damage.
your assessment is right. I'm
Skeptical.
very skeptical.
Yeah, this looks like a big win for Casie in terms of the turn panning out. Like, this is almost exactly what he wanted. The Oasis Surger is the perfect draw for him in this world as well. He had the Crystal Merchants to accelerate the draw to Nomi, or the Oasis Surger pickup to battle the board.
Is Fino ever thinking Zephyrus, like Mind Control Tech, Zephyrus Frost Nova for a Nomi turn? If he gets down to that end of the game, try and win on fatigue. That's a plan.
Oh, we're going deep now. I love this.
That's a plan I can kind of get behind. Like I said, all the healing is gone. This 14 is a very real 14 for Casie. So steal 1 6/6, freeze the board, connect with that 6/6, fatigue hits for Casie. That can very often be lethal.
Oh, that would be smart. I've just never seen like a more meek-looking scenarios in my entire life. It's the pick, but when you're staring down a pair of 5/5s and 10 untapped mana on Casie's side, it's the cards that left that make the difference. And so when you look at what's left for Casie, it's a lot of clunky stuff.
5/5 and a 6-drop.
I don't think it's good enough.
Does it get better?
Well, I mean, you can die to a second Zephyrus now? Am I crazy?
I wonder.
There's only 5 in
9.
play?
It'd be 7 mana, it'd be 8 mana hunting for 9 damage.
Nope. Not a real thing. Mind Control Tech is the fear, maybe, for Casie.
Definite fear. I think he's trying to figure out how to counterattack on the scenarios or to handle it all together. And I'm just not sure he's got the cards left.
I'm out of cards.
Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3.
Loading. That's the reason. Hidden Oasis. Big pickup.
Oh, I think that
Fills
might
up
have
the
shut
mana.
down the final outs for Fino in this position.
I'm almost out of cards.
Starfall here clears the majority of the board, apart from the 2 things that you really quite like being on your opponent's board right now.
That's the thing, is if you Starfall here and then you pass, Casey's turn is King Ferris?
Yep.
Oh my.
This Hidden Oasis, though, changes so much as to how this clock works.
Our power is in our
I'm out of cards.
Scenarios of his own. Fino has to consider the implications of every turn he can leave those Crystal Merchants alive, but that means not playing minions of his own. Now he can delay, I guess, like he can put the fatigue problem on a later turn with Ferocious House to like change specific spike points as to on which turn he actually dies on. Obviously it's more fatigue over time, I'm aware of that, but the burst of armor can change things and perhaps accelerate a clock in favor of Casie fatiguing first. Because remember, Fino has no idea that this other hidden Oasis is a factor.
He's got to be thinking about something like that, though.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not he'll ignore it and say, look, that's a 1 in 6, so be it. There are other healing cards, too.
Yeah.
Time waits for no
Damage cards as well.
Crystal Power and Ancient of Law are the only 3 alongside Hidden Oasis that can come off worthy, right?
Our power.
I think that's right.
I don't know. This is tough.
So yeah, Casie will gobble up this opportunity to potentially get rid of his Crystal Merchants. 10, 12, plus 8, 20 being pushed, plus the fatigue tick with just Cenarius.
The Crystal Merchants going to 5 offer you the double trade on Cenarius.
On Feoris, you mean?
I'm sorry, yes, on the
Yeah,
Feoris.
okay. I got very confused there for a second.
But Casie
What's
has to
happening?
shut down the rest of this damage now. I'm wondering if this leaves him open to an inflection point, and maybe that's why he's now going, oh, well, hang on a second, maybe I just need to push damage. But if you push damage and you don't check all the board, what can Mind Control Tech do? Notice the attacks on Fino's side, not clean. And Casie representing a heap of damage on the other side.
Zephyrus Flame Strike pushes 5. Casey's next draw fatigues for 3. So Fino has 8 damage this turn. He technically would have 9 with like Zephyrus Fireball, but Zephyrus doesn't recognize the fatigue tick.
Engaging TC-130 until
A
dislocated.
taunt gets stolen away.
And no attacks. Your opponent is out of AoE cards, right?
Oh my.
Your 3-4 and 2-1 is better than his 4-4. That Hidden Oasis is a big spanner in the works.
Ow.
11 to face. Opens up Cenarius trades.
Not clean though. But it's counter pressure.
Yep.
VT the 4-4. Kill off the 6-6. Casie drops to 16. You have 10 in play with Zephyrus in hand. Wow.
Woo!
That's insane. That's insane. I told you, aggression. That is the plan for Fino. This was so good.
Imagine just getting a pesky Tyrion from that Zephyrus. Honestly, what kind of idiot would suggest that? Way more exciting that way. Admirable's looking at me as if I'm burning him. I'm burning myself.
I'm just, man, he is so good at aggression. Like, it took me a long time to figure, I was like, why is everything going wrong for him? Because honestly,
I mean, it's still really funny to me that he won that game in fatigue and you're talking about his aggression, but I absolutely, he gave me the eyes. Guys, I was scared there for a second. I was scared. He was about to explode. I understand. I know. I'm just saying it's funny. That was a fatigue game and you're talking about aggression.
explain yourself.
That's objectively funny.
It is funny, but explain the aggression. Because you know what it is.
I mean, I said it multiple times during the matchup, right? He has the deck list that needs to be keeping on the pressure so that he just doesn't get, you know, trade for trade, whatever. Starfall kills this board, Starfield kills that board. Oh, Oasis Surges trade with each other. oh no, my opponent played Chef Nomi and I lost, right? Like, that's not going to work out in that scenario. He had to be more aggressive. He had to find creative lines. He did that with just essentially passing up a Zephyrus, so he had it for that final kicker in Fatigue. There were so many things to consider throughout those last, like, 6 to 8 turns that I think we should stop talking about it and ask the man who knows best.
Let's hear from Fino. Fino, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey guys, what's up?
I'll tell you what's up is I just watched a very impressive game number 2 in that Druid match. I want to know your thoughts that were headed into that one because that was a tough one to navigate. We could see both hands and we didn't know what to do.
I just wanted to go face, man. I'm not gonna lie, like, I just wanted to kill him, so he's dead. And after I saw the 2 Oasis things, I was like, and he played Elise, I'm like, okay, I won. There's no way, like, I can delay the game enough to a point where he dies. But then he played Forest and spawned a 6-drop, and then I got like, wait, what's happening here? Why does he have a 6-drop, you know? But yeah, he got, I knew that he got, because Casie is the type of guy who would concede if like the game was at that point and he didn't have the hidden Oasis.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. He got the hidden Oasis. I managed to stall the game a bit more because I knew it was there. And yeah, it worked out, the aggressive strategy.
So is that why, like, even after you saw his second Zephyrus got used, you didn't use your second Zephyrus for a Tyrion again? Like, you were trying to hold it for like Frost Nova or Burst Damage or something to end the game?
I mean, my plan was that I wanted to, like, stall his Nomi. Because, like, he knew there's, like, no cards left in the deck, right?
Right.
So I was like, I just want this to, you know, hold the Nomi. And, like, buy myself another turn. I could even, like, go, you know, MC Tech, develop something. And Zephyrus Nova, that's like a very good play. I mean, I did expect my Tyrion to get hexed, but maybe that wasn't right, playing the Tyrion there. I was thinking about going for the bow, but I was like, he can still get something with Zephyrus to, like, you know, and it's still bad for me. But other than that, I felt pushing the damage where I had to is what won me the game at the end. Like, pushing all the damage that I did with the Oasis Surge and all that stuff. Yeah, that was good.
So I have to address the elephant in the room now, which is the record in the standing.
You guys are more sad than me, man.
Yeah, no, I really, for you, I think you're the one exception to the rule where you've come to terms with it. You know, you've said it multiple times at this point. But, you know, this may be our final opportunity to talk to you, you know, peer. So I want to hear some of your thoughts. And, I mean, you're still headed to global finals. You got a big tournament coming up with that one. So there's got to be a lot on your mind. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the kind of person who only, like, gets sad, you know, for, like, a very specific amount of time and then realizes that it's fine. And it's really not the end of it. I got last in an 8-man tournament with the best, with some of the best 8 players in the world. I'm not going to, like, and I won't get invited to the next one because that's what it is, right? Like, if you get last, you just don't get invited to the next tournament, which is, you know, for me, it's kind of whatever. I'll still play Hearthstone. I still enjoy the game. It's a game that I enjoy more than other games right now. And to be honest, coming to this week, I was like so in terms with it that I was actually more stressed about Orange than I was about myself.
Yeah.
I would literally go in calls with Orange and he would be so stressed. And I was like, dude, I'm not even like this. And I'm like 90% relegated or something, you know? But yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. Like, I have BlizzCon coming up, which it was my goal in Hearthstone from the beginning, just to like qualify the Worlds, and I achieved that goal. And now my goal is to win it, and this is probably the best chance I'm going to get since it's, you know, 8 people. There's, like, a new meta. I have the best players in the world practicing with me, so, you know, I'm not going to, like, sit around and be sad about getting last in an 8-man tournament with, you know, my friends who are all really good players. It's just know who I am.
I mean, I think that's a very noble way of looking at it, Fino, but I know you've got things to do. You've got movies to make downstairs, so I'll let you go and get on with that. Have a great day.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys.